doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM. I'm your host, doc.PEACE, Doctor of Pharmacy, Transformational Rhythmic Speaker, and the Empress of Empowerment Calibration. As a business coach, I empower natural healers to transform their creativity and expertise into abundant soul purpose. Today, you're here listening to Golden Sessions, which is a time for us to connect and reset with doses of inspiration to empower confidence and to foster global unity. So, if you are looking for a dose of inspiration to empower your confidence in the face of any obstacle, you're in the right place. Welcome. During this segment, we feature golden starlings from all over the world who are shining their light bright to ignite our light and remind us that together we thrive. Today we have an incredible guest with us, Crista Marie Miller. Crista is an intuitive medium, voice channeler, certified aura color coach, and Reiki master. Crista began channeling spirit at the age of 7. The age of 7. Her focus is empowering you with sacred wisdom from divine feminine Christ, consciousness, and the goddesses that embody this lineage. She channels multiple teachers from this lineage, including Mary Magdalene, Anna, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, and so many more. Wow. Welcome, Crista.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for bringing your tribe.
Of course. They're always with me. Yeah, I always got my goddesses right behind me working with me. So, absolutely.
Beautiful. Love it. So, can you guide us through some of these titles that I just read off? Like, What is an intuitive medium? What is a voice channeler? What is a certified aura color coach? And how did you become this?
Yeah, well, like I said, I've been working with spirit my whole life. At the age of 7, my main spirit guide, Eloise, came to me, told me the things I was experiencing, that I wasn't crazy, that actually what I had was a gift from God. Because I seriously thought, I'm like, you know, do I need belong in a home? Like, I really struggled with, like, am I crazy? Am I insane? Because I heard voices, I saw things. And yeah, he literally told me, he calmed me down, said, this is a gift from God. And then Yeshua came to me, who a lot of people know as Jesus. And then Mary Magdalene, and then Lord Shiva, and then Krishna. And so that's kind of been my core base team that I have really, really, truly worked with. And didn't know at the time that they were, master teachers. They were just my friends. And whenever I had a question, it was just they were there. And I was always able to tell them apart because they would come to me with different energies and different feels. So,
Okay.
and then I was also able to visually see them.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
and now, mainly, who I mainly work with now is Mary Magdalene. That's who I mainly channel. And if we have time today, maybe we can have a little channeling from her. And let's see here. So, the intuitive medium just means that I intuitively pick up on information about you, about your life, about love, work, career, your spirit guide, spiritual team. I am very visual. I'm clairvoyant mainly, which means I see. Secondary, I'm clairaudient, which means I hear. And then and in a full session I connect with your whole spiritual team, not just crossed over loved ones but everyone. And let's see here, that's intuitive medium. Voice channel means I'm considered what's called a trance channel, which means I black out and Mary Magdalene comes and steps through and speaks through me. And then when I come back into the body, don't remember a thing I said. So completely
Ooh.
completely black out. I always come back and I'm like, did I even say anything? And everybody's like,
Yep.
yep.
I know I was. I recall being blown away from that first reading that I received from you. And then you just said, you responded, did what I say make sense? Was I speaking English?
Right. So I don't know. I really don't know. My soul just pops out and goes on a little mini vacation. And then
Wow.
it's pretty cool. I get like a bat signal that goes up that lets me know that to come back. And I come back into the body and no memory recollection and at all. And even with my readings, I don't remember a thing I say. So like people will come up to me like, you said this and this and this in a reading and it came true. And I'm like, cool.
Wow. That's
Yeah, so
incredible.
it helps keep me sane. I think that's it really, because I really have a good, solid, personal life, and can keep, I mean, you could never keep spirits separate, but it keeps my clients and my clients' information and my sessions separate because I don't remember them.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Let's
Um,
see here.
you're not taking that energy on because you never really experienced that energy. You allowed it to flow through you.
Flow through me. Yeah, flow through and out, and then transmute it into love if it needs to be transmuted.
Ooh.
Um, and then, yeah, yes. And then I'm a certified aura color coach. Never saw auras growing up. And then eventually I got interested in color coaching when I learned that working with color is actually working with frequencies. So I can't hear my spiritual team myself all the time. And so the way I learned how to communicate with them is through color. I'm also a mixed media artist. I love art. I love color. And so working with color is a way that many people can access and work with their team in order to start listening and getting visual cues by working with color. And if anybody's ever interested on my website, you get the first 2 sessions for free with working with color.
Whew.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. What a deal. I already know.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned something earlier, how when you first started getting these channeled messages, you thought that you might have been crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and belong in a loony bin.
Absolutely.
And you heard the voice of Mary Magdalene. Was it Mary Magdalene?
It
Calm you
was
down.
Yeshua first. Well,
Joshua. Okay.
yes, yeah, Jesus.
Okay.
So
And
he was the main calming force.
okay. Why
Mm-hmm.
did you listen? And the reason why I ask this is because
Yeah.
some of us might have some similar experience where we channel messages and there might be some confusion as to what's real and what's not. Why did
Yes.
you feel like this message that you were receiving was real, was reality?
It was a different sensation that came over me. What really scared me prior to my them coming into my life was I had an earthbound spirit that came at me and really was like cursing at me, yelling at me, just came bum rushing me in the middle of a toy store. And it scared the crap out of me because it was the first time a spirit had actually interacted with me. And I was just like, done, I'm done, I'm done. And when Yeshua finally came, and it was a feeling of he invoked the Holy Spirit within me, and it was this tingling, almost like like those muscle rub creams. It came over me of just calm, cool, warming sensation.
Mm.
My heart just felt like it just expanded, and then the voice. And that's how I knew this was something completely different. And I was like,
Oh.
okay. And then, I mean, if anybody's heard the voice of Jesus, I don't get emotional, but it's love. It's just pure love. And that's how I knew. And he always spoke truth and love and empowerment. And working throughout the years, I've worked with mental health professionals, and they say the difference is that the voices empower me, they don't tear me down. So that's how I know. Yes.
Ooh, the voices empowered you and others, it seems. It empowered you and others and did not
Yes.
tear you or others
Or
down.
others down. Never.
Mm.
Never. I'm all about empowerment and stepping into your power and making a better life. Even a negative situation, there's always positives. And so it's always pulling out those golden gems from your negativity that help with the healing process. It's always focusing on the positive. It's one of my great sayings is focus your attention on your intention.
Focus your attention
Attention
on
on
your
your
intention.
yeah, and your
Whew,
intention
that's
should always
powerful.
be on truth.
Yes, because where your focus goes, your energy flows.
Absolutely.
So if you
Yeah.
focus your attention on your intention, then you will achieve that intention.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And you achieve it with gratitude and love always behind you.
Okay, love it. So, I mean, from where I stand, you seem like you have everything together. You have your guides that are guiding you along your journey. Was there ever a time that you felt like you were alone or lost or down, and like what how did you pull yourself out of the darkness?
Ooh, okay, that's a story. I when I wanted, I wanted to be married, I wanted children, and I continually dated men that were very artistic and very, flamboyant and out there. And I had a friend who was interested in me, and we started dating. And my dad said, if you want that house, white picket fence, two children, you'll marry this guy. And I said,
Mm,
okay. And this guy was an engineer, very very solid, very very had his stuff together. And we started dating, and we started dating in May. He proposed in August and in November. And when he proposed to me, he was against all the spiritual stuff. He was against everything. He was not comfortable with it. It made him fearful. And so when he proposed to me, he says all the spiritual stuff stops. And at that time, I was doing a lot of paranormal investigation, was not protecting myself properly, so I was tired a lot. I know a lot better now. I know so much more about protection now than I did then. I mean, this is when I was about 20 years old. And yeah, he proposed and I agreed, and I shut down. And at that young age, within 6 months of shutting down all my spiritual gifts, you can never fully shut down, but I stopped doing the work. I
yeah.
stopped communicating. When they would talk, I wouldn't respond. And I put like a wall barrier around me, between me and spirit. And within 6 months, I had gained 100 pounds, got fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, and rheumatoid arthritis. Basically, the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and they kept pasting all these labels on me and putting me on a cocktail of drugs because I was swelling. I couldn't barely move my joints. It was My whole body was just, now I know it was just rejecting every single sense because I wasn't standing in my power and I wasn't being me. And that I spent 15 years in that marriage of slowly, about 7 years of that was my darkest time in my entire life because I didn't have spirit. I hadn't have that connection. It took me 7 years to get pregnant because again they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And then when I did become pregnant, just this sensation came over me of like, I want my children to know who I am. They need to know me.
Yeah.
And I was driving to a doctor's appointment and said, okay, spirit, I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring it all back. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Please don't ever say that while you're driving. Not a good idea. Um, I was driving, and all of a sudden, this woman came. This traffic was slowing down, and this woman barely. And my last thought was, she's not going to stop, and she didn't. She slammed into my back of my car. My car started spinning. I popped out of the body. I had one of those clippies in my head, and it went into the back of my head. I popped out of the body, and I saw my car spinning on the freeway, and I saw sentinel angels stopping traffic on the freeway when my car did not hit a single car as it spun out 3 times. And I remember looking over to myself, and I saw my higher self. I saw my spirit guide Eloise. I saw Yeshua. I saw Magdalene. I'm like looking at my team, and I'm like, I got to go back, don't I? And Yeshua, he's like, yeah, you're a little behind schedule. And I'm like, I was like, Arr. And I was like, I didn't want to go back because I was happy. I was blissful. I was out of the body. And I looked down in my car and I saw Archangel Michael sitting in the passenger seat, and he flipped something in the back of my head, right where that clippy went in. And when I came to, slowly but surely, through all that, I didn't have a scratch on me. I was bruised up, but I didn't have a scratch on me. They had to use the jaws of life to pull me out of the car. The paramedics got scratches on them, and they're like, how do we have scratches on you, but you don't have anything on you? I'm like, yeah, I'm just blessed. They're like, you got some serious protectors. But slowly after that accident, it took about another 7 years. It's interesting how cycles of seven always happen. But 7 years after that, I slowly began opening back up and became stronger. And now I'm more empowered and more in my truth and honesty. I'm out of that marriage. I have a true, awesome spiritual partner I'm with now. And now I'm here doing it
That's
fully.
so incredible, Krista. And what a blessing that you're here, blessing us with your energy and your light. So I'm so
Thank you.
glad that you were able to make it through that dark moment. You might have let yourself go. I don't even like that phrase
Absolutely.
because it's opposite. You weren't letting yourself go. You were holding back.
I was seriously I was holding it all in, and my body, and it showed through my
Yeah.
physical experience.
Yes, but thank you for overcoming that moment and sharing that with us today. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM radio with our incredible guest, Crista Marie Miller. When we come back, we're going to dive into 5 spiritual steps to prepare your soul to bring your services to the masses. So stay tuned. And we're back. You're listening to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM. I'm doc.PEACE, and we are here with Miss Crista Marie Miller. Let's get back into it. So, Crista, you were just sharing with us your story of how you transitioned and how you overcame your dark moments where you were holding back your gifts and your talents, and now you are now fully expressing. For those of us who are listening who might find themselves in a similar place where they're holding back their gifts and their talents, and not quite owning that which they've been blessed with, what are some steps that you can give us, some guidance that you can give us to prepare our souls to begin to bring those gifts and services to the masses,
Yeah,
to share our
sure.
gifts with our community?
So, about 4 or 5 years after my reawakening and stepping back into my power, I decided I really wanted to do this work professionally. I wanted to do this work for real. I'd always wanted to in the past, but this was my calling, this was my time. And it's either step up or step out. This is the moment. And Spirit told me that, you just got to take that leap into the abyss. And only when you take that leap into the abyss of the unknown do you realize that the abyss is just a feather bed, ready to catch you. But you got to have that faith that the abyss is ready for you to catch you and support you. So there's nothing scary about taking that leap. So once I took that leap of faith, and I said, okay, I'm ready to do this work professionally. Yeshua came and said, okay, I'm going to give you some steps. And he gave me each one of these steps at a time, one at a time. And I didn't get the next step until I mastered the previous one. But today I'm going to give you all 5 of them at once. But I strongly, please take these slow and a little bit. It took me about a year to get through all these steps to fully really prepare myself to get out there.
Okay.
But
so this is a year of homework.
Pretty much, but everybody has free will, and you can streamline these and make them quicker. But through doing these steps, I was still putting the work in and I was still showing up and getting out there publicly. So, so don't stop yourself from getting out there and doing it. Don't say, I need to do these steps in order to do that. No, just do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Get out there. Show up. Show up, show up, show up.
Show
Okay.
up. Show up. Yep. Consistency is key. Yes.
It is.
Okay.
It so is. Okay. Step number 1. And when I heard this, I was not happy because this was my hardest one. It was eating clean.
Ooh.
Yep.
Eat clean.
Yep. Eat clean. Eat things from Mother Gaia. Eat things from the earth. The earth provides everything that we need. And it was like, eat clean, eat clean, eat clean. So cut out the sugar, cut out the salt. Everything has additives in these days. So it was like removing all that clutter from the physical body of really, truly eating clean. Now, for me personally, I deal a lot with higher energy source. So I do eat meat. A lot of people do go completely vegetarian or vegan, but I do need a little bit of meat because it actually brings me back down into grounding after I'm channeling. But when I do eat meat, it's always grass-fed, hormone-free, as clean as possible. Yeah. So I'm not here to say, go vegetarian or vegan. No, there is some bodies need meat. And that's what Spirit has taught me. I'm lucky I have a Xander, my health guide, who just tells me what to eat, when not to eat. But eat, your body responds. Your body tells you what it wants. Listen to your cravings. And if it's craving sugar, then there's alternate substances to sugar that can replace that.
Like
trying. Ooh. So for me, natural sugar made it. So like when I wanted a candy bar, I would reach for an apple instead. And that helped a lot. It's reprogramming the brain. And yeah, sometimes I would eat, like I said, Three Musketeers, candy bars were my thing. So instead of grabbing a candy bar, I would actually eat an apple and say, ooh, this is the best apple ever. This is so much better than the candy bar. It's like reprogramming and
Yes.
You can reprogram your brain to do anything. So eating the apple was a lot better. And then my body responded so much better. I didn't have that crash that I would when I ate the candy bar. It was sustainable energy. So it's just listening to your body. So that was step number 1, is eat clean.
Eat clean.
And eat things from Mother Earth whenever possible. Mother Gaia, yep. Step number 2. This was a fun one. And this is the one that started tearing my marriage apart. It was coming out. I came out of the medium closet. Come out. Tell everybody who you are, what you are. I would go up to the grocery store clerk and, Crista, I'm an intuitive medium. I talk to dead people. And when I first started doing it, my voice would shake. I would be wobbly. I would be like, hi, it's me. And I would go into defensive mode. But now I can sit here and, because I said it over and over and over again. I came out to everybody. I came out to my boss. I was at a sales administrator job for 15 years. And at my review, he's like, every single year, he's like, are you a company girl, Crista? Are you going to be here for the rest of your career? And I would always say, yes, yes, yes. And when Yeshua told me to come out, I was like, whoa. And so when he asked me again, are you going to be here? I said, actually, no. I'm actually an intuitive medium, and this is what I want to do. And he's like, and this was a tough man from Chicago. He was like, he had sat back. He's like, And then I said, I'm like, can I give you a message? And he's like, sure. And so I brought through his mom, I brought through his dad, and this tough man was crying within 5 minutes. Ooh. And he's like, you know what, Crista? He's like, there was always something different about you. He's like, whenever I needed a report, it would be there without me even asking. You would know to call a client when they needed something. He's like, you always knew. He's like, so this makes so much sense. He's like, thank you for sharing, and this is your purpose. And I went out, when I came out to my mom, she started crying. She's like, this makes so much sense. My dad was like, I had some experiences as a child that maybe for another podcast, but I had some experiences, and he was always like that. He's like, this just makes so much sense. He's like, I always knew that thing wasn't broken. That's what was going on. So it was like, everybody already knows. So just do it. Just come out. But then when I did come out to my husband was the last person I came out to. And he at first he was encouraging and saying, okay, well, you do what you want to do, and go ahead. But then when I would eventually like come back from spiritual events, fairs, things like that, he would be very negative and very just not for it and glaring and so. But I came out, come out, come out, come out.
Come out,
That's
come
step
out, come
number
out.
2.
Tell everybody,
Everybody.
you're on your way. Tell
That's
everybody.
right.
Tell
Whatever
everybody.
you are, you need to come out. Yep.
Yes,
Step
love
number
it.
2. And I even made public posts on social media. Did I lose friends? Yeah, I lost about 80% of my friends. You will. And it's just part of it. But then you gain true friends who love you for who you are. And whatever it is, they will love you and they will support you.
Not everybody is going to resonate. Not everybody is going to resonate with the new value that you now have to offer, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I love how you went from being shy and hiding
introverted
your gifts and apologetic, even
very
apologetic
much so.
for your gifts, and
very
to now
so.
coming to this space where you're now confidently owning your gifts. So yes, show up. Number 2. What are the third, fourth, and fifth steps? This is incredible.
Thank you. Step number 3 is mindful movement. They never called it exercise. Spirit has never worded they use exercise for me. But number 3, mindful movement. It helps get the energy moving. It moves through the body. Exactly. Dancing, exercise, jump roping. They really prefer if you are communicating, especially if you're communicating with people who are crossed over, you need aerobics. You need to find something that is high impact to clear out the energy. No other way will you be able to clear out the energy unless you do running, jump roping, something to clear it out.
Yeah. Hula hooping?
Huh? Hula hooping?
Dancing?
Yes. That's definitely flow. Anything where you can get into a flow rhythmic pattern. Yeah, mindful movement. And they always called it mindful movement. Another process of the mindful movement is they always said, get the earbuds out for at least 5 minutes. Get the earbuds out, get the clutter, like get the mind chatter out, and be present with your body. Be present, and feel the energy moving and cycling through.
Beautiful. Okay, yeah, number 3, mindful movement.
Number 4, declutter.
Ooh.
Yes. Number 4, declutter physical space, mind space, emotional space, and people. So those leftover people that were not supporting me, I stepped away. And yes, some were family. Yes, some was a husband. It was declutter of stepping away and also, decluttering physical space. You can't properly think if you have clutter. And clutter for me is disorganized material.
Okay. Disorganized material.
I'm an artist. I love things. Yes, remove the clutter. But I love things. I love I love things, but they're all organized things. Like I know where everything's at. So yeah, remove the clutter. And again, emotional, mental, physical, and people. Remove the clutter.
Love it.
And last step is number 5 is expression. This one was my favorite one. Artistic expression. Learn how you get into flow. Flow state where you completely lose sense of self is where you need to be in order to go into channeling. You need to be able to access flow, and how you access flow is by learning how to express yourself. So for me, that's art, doing miniatures. And if you're already doing something creative for your job, when you express yourself or getting yourself into these 5 steps, it can't be something that you make money at. It has to be something you just do for yourself. Okay. So whether that's journaling, speaking, car automotive, woodworking, cooking, find something to express and get that creative juices out.
Beautiful. And
love it. Those are the 5 steps.
Yeah, I love those steps. Thank you so much for sharing that. For me, those 2 modalities that get me to that flow state would have to be hula hoop dancing and performing spoken word.
Yes.
Definitely. So this has been so very incredible. I'm wondering, what are you channeling right now in this moment?
Well, very cool. So Magdalene wants to come through. And she has some choice words for listeners today and for tomorrow and for future Anybody who's hears this, this is the message for you. You ready? All right.
Ready.
So I'm going to let her step through, and here we go. Greetings. Greetings, our dear ones. Thank you for allowing me to come through today for you and for us and for the world. For we are here to change the world, and you are here to make your imprint on the world. This is why you have come into the human body, is for you to express. As our dear Crista has just said, expression is key. Expression of your soul is your soul purpose. In order, everybody is always trying to find their soul purpose. Find what lights you up. Find what gets you out of bed in the day. That is your soul purpose. And I'm here to tell you that your prayers are being heard and answered at this very moment. Your prayers are being heard. We ask that you pray and meditate daily. And here, let me tell you the difference between prayer and meditation. For many people put so many rules and regulations into prayer and meditation, but it is really quite simple. Prayer is talking to God. Prayer is talking to your team, talking to source. And meditation is a listening for that. You could listen by doing the dishes. When you are in that state of, as our dear Krista calls it, the hypnotic state of listening and losing yourself, that is meditation. You do not need to be sitting up on a mountain cross-legged and past in bliss in order to meditate. No, my dear ones. You can be meditating while you are walking. We call it that. That's what we call mindful meditation. Movement meditation is the walking. So meditate is listening. Just listen. Clear out your mind and listen. And lastly, I'm here to give you encouragement. To give you encouragement in stepping onto your path, for this is your activation. This is your call to act. This is your call, for we are here to support you. You are never alone. Your angels are always around you. Your spiritual team is vast. And they are there all for messages that are constantly being given to you. Pay attention to those numbers of 333s, the 11s. They are there, and they are messages for you. Even songs that come on the radio are messages for you. For we quite often manipulate the tunes and the frequencies on your devices in order to provide messages for you. So we are there, and you are never alone. We are asking for you to step into your power today and to go out there and explore and stay curious and keep questioning. For that is what keeps your soul alive, is never stop searching and seeking out your own answers. Don't accept anybody else's answers but your own. And blessings, my dear ones, I will leave you that now.
Woo! Beautiful, Crista.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're incredible. How can we connect with you further?
Well, so Krista Marie Miller is my website. Across all platforms is just Krista Marie Miller. Instagram is Krista_Marie_Miller. Facebook, Krista Marie Miller. YouTube, Krista Marie Miller. Pretty easy.
Krista Marie Miller. The spelling of your first name, Krista, is uniquely different than what is common. So can you pronounce or spell out Krista?
Yeah. Krista is my legit soul purpose. It's Crista. And do we have a quick moment where I can say, no? Okay, good. Krista, Crista.
We do have a moment, and I do want you to invite you to share what that means.
Okay, sounds good. So Krista is legit. They told me, my spiritual team said, my soul purpose is my name. And my name literally means the outer membrane of mitochondria that is in the cells, and the mitochondria activates you. It is your energy cell. It is your power cell. So I quite literally, when you work with me, I activate your mitochondria in your body. Krista is we take those proteins, turn them into energy in order to activate you.
It's the powerhouse of the cell.
It is.
It is, yeah. Wow, incredible. You're listening to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM radio. That concludes today's session with the incredible Krista Marie Miller. Thank you so much for being here, Crista.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you. It was a
welcome.
blessing.
And thank you all for joining us today. I hope that you got that dose of inspiration that you were welcoming and the priceless reminder that you are indeed gold. You are a genuine, original, loving dreamer. You have a soul purpose. We all do. And together we thrive. I'm Doc Peace. Shine on. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually.